guys? It is AJ from MMA Experts, and we are talking about the UFC Fight Night Whittaker versus Till card. This is the full fight predictions of the entire card. We'll start from the undercard and work our way up. So let's get into it. If you want to skip ahead, you definitely can, but I suggest checking out the undercard because there's some solid fights on it with a lot of up-and-coming guys. So first fight of the night, Nathaniel Wood and John Castaneda. Let's open this up. Let's check them out. You see Nathaniel Wood, he's the prospect versus the sexy Mexi, John Castaneda. The main thing I don't like here with Castaneda, let's go to his record real quick. Lost 2 fights in Combat America fairly recently, 2017, 2018, with 1 win. Now he's fighting Nathaniel Wood. If you look at Nathaniel Wood, he's a prospect without a doubt. He won his first 3 UFC fights, high level in Cage Warriors, and then his only loss to John Dodson. For me, this is Nathaniel Wood's fight. He gets the win here. I predict it by a decision. I'm excited to see it though, because it's going to be fun to watch this up and coming guy. But Castaneda coming off some losses fairly recently, don't like his chances, and we got Wood winning that one by unanimous decision. Now let's get to the next fight, Razman Imiv versus Nicholas Stolze. It should be a good fight here between 2 tough guys. I like right away Imiv. I'll tell you guys that. I think he does win it. He's a moderate favorite. I think he wins this fight by unanimous decision. We can check out the records just out of curiosity. Solid 4-fight win streak. His only loss was against Chris Stringer a while back, who's got a pretty bad record, but shit happens in the past. Razman Imiv, good grappling, good skills overall. Has lost to Anthony Rocco Martin. Nothing to be ashamed of that. Before that, he was unbeaten in the UFC. So I think this is his fight, 100%, and I got him winning a unanimous decision. Haye and Pani Kianzad. Interesting last name there. Swedish girl from Sweden, actually fighting out of Denmark, and then for the Brazilian, so it's a good fight here. Becca Haye is a vet of the game. You see she's 37 though, she's a bit older, 9 years older than Pani. I think Pani's just more precise on the feet and more technical. I think Correa is super tough, but I think Pani gets this fight done and wins it by unanimous decision. A lot of decision predictions early on. Jessica Rose Clark was her win, and then Julia Avila is super legit, and that was a recent loss for her. For Betch, though, pretty big win over Sijara Eubanks. I didn't expect that, but she did pull it off. Before that, she did have the 2 losses there. But I'm taking Pani here. I think she gets it done and is definitely a prospect to watch out for in the women's bantamweight division. Next fight, Rafael Pesosa, Tanner Bozier. We'll go right into it. Tanner Bozier's the man. He's got mad power in his hands, and he's super quick. It's actually not even so much that he has mad power. It's just the fact that he's so precise and quick as a heavyweight. He'll knock dudes out. I'm predicting he gets a first-round knockout over Rafael Pesosa. They do share a common opponent as of recent. It was Ciryl Gane. He quickly was submitted. Tanner Bozier fought Ciryl Gane and gave him a dog fight. You see, he lost a decision, but it was a very good fight and a tough fight at that. So definitely going with Bozier here. I think he gets a knockout in the first round. Next fight, we have Movsar Evelev versus Mike Grundy. Right away, I'm telling you, I'm leaning Movsar. I just think that he's more superior on the ground than Grundy, and he's undefeated, so it's hard to pick against him. But Grundy's a solid 12-1 prospect. You can look at the odds right there, plus 195, minus 250. I think those are rightful odds. I think he's only 26, so he's a young prospect versus a 33-year-old. If you want to look just to see who they've fought, Movsar, he fought Enrique Barzola. I just clicked on the wrong thing there. Let's hold it up. Okay, so Enrique Barzola, who's a solid, tough fighter, and he also beat Sang-Woo Choi, and he also was an M1 veteran, which is a solid up-and-coming league, solid league for up-and-comers. Mike Grundy, right there, Nad Naramini, debut win, pretty good, but I think that we're going to see him lose, and he hasn't lost since his 4th pro fight, Damian Stasiak, who fought in the UFC at one point. So, Grundy's legit. I just think that he doesn't win here against a tough, unbeaten kid. Okay, next fight. Jake Collier, Tom Aspinall. I think Aspinall gets it done all day. I'll tell you right away. He's the bigger guy. He's been more active. Jake Collier's been super inactive. Moderate favorite, rightfully so. 27-31, 6'5", 6'3". We don't know his reach, but we know that he's going to get the job done by knockout. If you check out his recent fights, Last 3 fights, all knockout wins. Granted, this guy was 3-7. That record's pretty shit, but it's still a knockout win. This guy was only 2-0. This guy's 6-2. So, okay, he's not fighting the best competition, but I still think he wins here. I think he's a good prospect to watch out for. He fought pro in boxing and is 1-0. So, I mean, I give him the respect on the hands. I think he wins it. If Jake Collier pulls off the upset, that's great. I just don't see it happening. He's more of a light heavyweight. I think he's a true light heavyweight. He hasn't been knocked out for a while. He lost here and here. By Dong Yang knocked him out, or excuse me, TKO ground and pound, and then he was stopped here by Vitor Miranda. I think we see a first round knockout win though for his opponent Aspinall. I think he comes in there and cracks with him and puts him down and out, especially how inactive Collier's been. I gotta go back to his record real quick. I'm bouncing all over the place, but 2017, that's a long time to be inactive. So I think Tom Aspinall has this fight. Okay, Nicholas Dalby and Jesseronson. I'll tell you right away. Let's just click on Ronson. 2 losses recently in PFL. Not a fan of that. He's got just 1 win, and now he's coming to the UFC. It's because of quarantine and stuff, coronavirus. They're signing guys that maybe normally would not be signed. I think that you see Dalby win this fight. He's been outside of the UFC. He did get cut. He had the win, the draw against Darren Till, which is huge, and then 3 straight losses here. But if you look, then he went on a good stint in Cage Warriors before returning to the UFC and winning against Cowboy Oliveira, who's super tough. I think he beats Ronson here. I think that he probably does it by a unanimous decision. I just feel like that Ronson will be durable and tough, but we'll see that Dalby's just a superior fighter. Okay, next, Jay Herbert, Francisco Trinaldo. Right away, I'll tell you I like Jay Herbert. I like that he's 6'1", but I will tell you I'm not picking him to win. He's 32. He's an up-and-coming guy. I mean, 32 is not young, but it's not old for lightweight. I think he still has some time versus the 41-year-old who's very old for lightweight, but he's still looking good. If you look at Trinaldo, look at this 2-fight win streak. Bobby Green, Medeski, lost to Hernandez. Before that, quickly beat Evan Dunham. I mean, you look, he's still legit. Look, he beat Jim Miller here. He lost to James Vick, who's tough. I mean, look at that. He was on a huge streak for a long time. There was a big win streak here from 2014 to 2016. He beat Paul Felder. I mean, I don't know. I think Trinaldo's pretty legit. I think he's just maybe a bit underestimated. He's a bit older. I think he beats Herbert here. Herbert's really good, though, and could have a really bright future. There's no shame in losing to Trinaldo. Hasn't lost since he lost to Rise McKee a long time ago, but since then has been very good. And he's a really bright prospect, and I have him as one of the guys to watch out for on the card. Definitely keep an eye on him, but I don't think he wins. But if he does win, then we know he's super legit. That's what I'm thinking. That's what's going through my mind as I'm watching the footage and stuff. He looks really good, but Trinaldo will probably beat him. Hamza Chimaev, he's the man. Probably a future title challenger. I think definitely a future title challenger. 26. He's an absolute savage. Dominated his last opponent, John Phillips, I believe. Yeah, John Phillips. Killed him on the ground and then tapped him out in the second. That was a brutal beating. Rise McKee, on the other hand, is a tough fighter, but I saw this fight with Terry Brazier, and he was beat on the ground, held down. Hamza Chimaev's going to destroy him. First or second round stoppage, probably by knockout or submission. It's really up to him if he wants a TKO or if he wants to tap him out, but it's definitely Hamza's fight to win, and I think he definitely will do so. Let's get to the next fight here. He's a huge favorite, too. He's like a minus 500. So on some websites, he's like a minus 1,000. So that's pretty nuts. I mean, he's definitely a safe pick, but I just wouldn't want to put that much money down because you never know what's going to happen in the moment. But definitely, I don't see Hamza Chimaev losing that fight, like at all. I don't see it. I don't think it's possible. Cowboy Oliveira, Peter Sabata. Right away, I tell you, I lean Sabata. He's better on the ground. I think Sabata wins this fight. He's the underdog. I think he gets a submission victory over Oliveira, who's a tough journeyman at 170 pounds. Let's check out their records, who they recently fought. The win here over Max Griffin. Split decision, fairly impressive. Max Griffin's pretty underestimated, but he did beat Mike Perry at one point. Peter Sabata, coming off a long layoff. He fought 2018 Leon Edwards, though. It's a pretty huge fight. He looked decent while it was lasting. He throws some nice jabs. I just think it's Sabata's fight here. I think he's just a superior guy and more of a contender prospect, but I don't think he ends up breaking into the top 10 than Oliveira, though. But he will win this fight against Oliveira and move forward in his career, 100%. I definitely see him winning this fight. Okay, Paul Craig and Gazermat and Tigulov. This is an interesting fight. Both decent light heavyweights coming off the draw for Paul Craig against Mauricio Shogun Rua. Two straight quick losses for Gazermat. He gasses out. He fights reckless. It's a thing that I don't like to see, and he also only has a 70-inch reach here. See that right there? He bum rushed Olin Jacek and just got cracked, and then kept rushing him, and then gets knocked out. I don't know what he was doing. I think that he fought with a stupid game plan there. He should have calmed down and fought a little smarter. Ian Cutelaba, he was winning that fight. He was on top, but then Cutelaba turned it on him and got the TKO victory on the feet, standing TKO, which made sense though because he was totally gassed. So I expect him to gas here. Paul Craig's a resilient guy. He gets wins in any round. I mean, if you look, third round win there. I mean, he was stopped by Menfield, but Menfield's a tough dude. Third round win here. If you look here, third round win. You see he has a loss to Collier, which is pretty brutal. A loss there to Tyson Pedro. But second round win here. He's turned it up. He has the draw with Shogun. Vincius Morea, he quickly beat by submission. I think that he wins this fight. I think that he gets a submission in the second round. That's my prediction. I think that he's just going to be able to last longer. He's just, and Tagulov is a bum rush guy. He gets you out quick or he doesn't get you out at all. And Craig's not getting put out quick here, I don't think. He's also a lot taller. I think he's got a 5-inch reach advantage, too. It's Paul Craig's fight all day. Carla Esparza, Marina Rodriguez. Rodriguez unbeaten. That's a pretty huge accolade to have. If you look, she is the slight minus 160 favorite to the plus 130 dog. Year older, 2-inch reach advantage, 5-inch height advantage. I think Marina Rodriguez is the better striker. I think on the feet, it's all her fight. But I will say she has showed a hole in her game when her grappling. So we may see her get exposed by Carla Esparza. But I don't think it happens because I think Calvillo and her, it was a good fight. And I feel like, yeah, she showed that hole, but she is good. And I think she will be able to fend off Carla Esparza for the 3 rounds. I think she wins a decision. I don't think she gets a stoppage or anything like that. Carla Esparza, though, 3 straight wins. If she wins, she's right in the mix for a title shot. As crazy as it sounds, I mean, she fought for the title a long time ago. If you look, she was the champion. Rose Namajunas, she beat and then got crushed by the long-reigning king, or at least somewhat long-reigning king, Joanna Jacek, or excuse me, Queen Joanna Jacek. Win over Cynthia Calvillo, too. I mean, if you look, pretty impressive resume for Esparza. She's legit as they come, and I do think she loses, though, here. I just think Rodriguez is unbeaten, better striker, gets a hard-fought decision win. Okay, now we get into like one of the big fights of the night. Fabricio Werdum, the former heavyweight champion who looked pretty bad in his last fight against Oleinik. I mean, he didn't look bad for a fighter, but he looked bad for Fabricio Werdum, the former world champion. Alexander Gustafsson's been out for a while. I believe it's 2 years since he fought, and that was a loss to Anthony Smith by submission. That was 2019. Oh, wow. So this about 1 year. About 1 year retirement, and now he's already back. He couldn't keep the itch away for long. Totally get it, though. I mean, he's still a good, legit fighter. I don't know what that exhibition match was here, but he did win it. Fabricio Werdum coming off the loss to Oleinik. Before that, he was stopped by Volkov. But, I mean, he's a good fighter. We've seen it. I think that Werdum is legit as they come. I think he definitely could win this fight, but I don't think he does. I think that Gustafsson outpoints him on the feet and is just a bit superior, but I do have a concern in the back of my mind that we're going to see a submission victory for Fabricio Werdum, and he's going to end up tapping out Gustafsson. But I'm not picking that. I'm picking a Gustafsson hard-fought decision. Though I won't be surprised if it goes a different way. Let's quickly check the odds of this fight. Minus 300 favorite. Wow, they have him as a huge favorite. So they definitely predict a victory for Gustafsson, but I definitely take into account that this is at heavyweight against a former champion. Don't doubt Fabricio Werdum, but I don't think he wins it, but he could. He could totally come back and pull off a submission win over Alexander Gustafsson. He's dangerous throughout the whole fight, so Gustafsson better mind his P's and Q's 100%. Battle of some very old savages. We got the 44-year-old, 38-year-old. Shogun's not that old, but he's been around forever. He made his debut who knows how long ago. I'm going to actually look. See what year these guys made their debuts. 2002. So that's 18 years ago for Shogun Rua. For Rogerio Nogueira, he made his debut in 2001. So these guys have been fighting 18 and 19 years. They've been around for a very long time. They fought who's. That was their first fight, I think, back here. Right there, we saw a win for Shogun. And then they ran it back again in the UFC. Win for Shogun again. And now they're running it back again 5 years later. Their first fight was in what year? I'm about to look at this. I have to see now. It was in 2005. So 15 years later, they're doing the trilogy fight after their original first fight and 5 years after their second fight. I think that we see Shogun get it done, though. I think he stops, actually, Nogueira. I think Nogueira's old, man. He looked old. He got beat up pretty bad. I mean, he got crushed by Ryan Bader, and then he beat Sam Alvey, which is a pretty good win, honestly, at this point for him, beating Sam Alvey. That's pretty legit. But Ryan Spann quickly starched him. And I don't think Ryan Spann's the heaviest puncher of all time. I think he's got good pop and he's a decent prospect, but he got crushed quick. Shogun, though, he has the draw to Paul, Bear, Jew, Craig, who's a legit fighter, but I don't know. I see the win over Pedro, the draw with Craig, and then the loss to Anthony Smith was brutal. But other than that, I got to give it to Shogun Rua. I think he gets it done by knockout. I think he stops him in the first or second round. I just feel like he's going to crack Shogun, he's going to crack Nogueira. Shogun will crack Nogueira and probably put him out. I just don't think the chin of Nogueira will hold up at all. Robert Whittaker, Darren Till. Big fight. This is a huge fight. This is a high-stakes fight. Winner probably fights Jack Hermanson, possibly. Maybe Jared Cannonier. Really depends on who wins, how they win, and who's available at the time, to be 100% honest with you. Robert Whittaker, former world champion. 10 rounds. He shared the octagon with Romero, and he does have 2 wins over Romero. Whether you say that one of them was controversial or not, he has 2 wins over Romero. Darren Till, close, hard-fought decision win over Gastelum, or I guess it was close, right? Was it a split? Yeah, it was a split decision over Kelvin Gastelum in a back. It wasn't a back and forth fight. It was kind of a clinch fest, but we did see him win that. Big win. Knockout loss to Jorge Masvidal. Dropped and choked out by Tyron Woodley. But before that, he was pretty much perfect in the octagon besides his draw with Dalby. I think that he's legit, especially at 185 pounds, but I don't think he's legit enough to beat this beast of a man. Robert Whittaker is an absolute savage, and I got to give him the respect that he deserves. He's a great striker. He's got mad power in his hands, great kicks. I think it's Whittaker's fight 100%. I'm picking Whittaker to stop him by the 4th round. That's my prediction. I mean, he fought Yoel Romero and went the distance. I don't see Till being able to stop him. I think he's just going to beat Till up, to be honest. It'll be competitive at moments, but he's going to start landing big shots and get Till out of there with a knockout victory, which is a huge win for Robert Whittaker, and will definitely put him back in the mix and set him up for huge fights. I mean, just look at who he's fought. I mean, his last loss before that was against Stephen Thompson before he lost to Israel Adesanya. Like, look at this sick tear that he went on. I mean, I gotta say, I just think that this is Whittaker's fight. He's only 29. I believe he challenges for a world title sometime again. I believe he has the potential to be a world champion again. And it's not that Darren Till doesn't have championship potential. I mean, he does. It's just, I think that Whittaker's going to beat him. And maybe Till needs to figure out what he wants to do weight class-wise. Maybe stick around here, try to get back on the horse. Or does he drop back down to 170 and drain himself and maybe win some fights? But I don't know. 170 is rough for him. I got Whittaker here, but I mean, I wouldn't be totally shocked if Till pulled it off. Till's pretty nasty. Look at the odds, near even, -115, -115. You got the reach. You got Till with a 1.5 reach advantage. But Robert Whittaker does look a little taller when they stand next to each other, like in face-offs and stuff. But they have them at the same height, and the reach goes to Till. But I don't think it matters. I think Whittaker mixes it up really nicely, gets this fight done by the 4th round. We got a great card, guys. I cannot wait. I'm super pumped to see these fights. We're going to see some battles. I think we're going to see maybe some high-level fight of the year type fights. I think Darren Till, Robert Whittaker has the making to be a technical masterpiece of a fight on the feet. I don't think it goes to the ground much. If there's guys to watch out for on the card, I mean, obviously Whittaker's in the mix. You got to check him out. Marina Rodriguez is a girl to keep an eye on without a doubt. I also think when you go down, you got to watch Khamzat Chimaev. I think he's the real shit. I think that he's a future world title challenger. He is very dangerous. If Jay Herbert wins, he proves me wrong, and he's hella legit, and he's definitely a guy I'm going to keep an eye on. Other than that, I mean, Tom Aspinall's a big heavy hitter. I don't know if he's world champion material at heavyweight, but I think he's a fun guy to watch. You definitely Movsar Evelev is a guy to watch out for. He's undefeated, 12-0. If he wins here, 13-0 at 145 pounds, he's going to be very legitimate. And I would say Bozier's a fun guy to watch for an entertaining heavyweight. Definitely check Bossier out. Let's see. And Nathaniel Wood. I think he's still got top 15 material, without a doubt. He lost to John Dodson. I mean, John Dodson's a killer. He's super fast. I think he definitely works John Castaneda here, and I think you should keep an eye on him. And also Pania. I think keep an eye on her. She looks pretty slick. I'm going to be honest with you. She looks pretty slick. I think she beats up Becca here. But overall, sick card. I can't wait for it. I got all the post-fight stuff that's going to be coming out after the fights. Hope you guys enjoyed this full fight card prediction video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like, subscribe, turn on those post notifications, and I will see you guys in the next video.